July the 23rd, 2009. 24th? Yeah. July 24th, 2009. We're in Hurst, Texas, and my name is Hernandez. And we're going to get to know a young man here. I'll let him say his own name. And he's going to learn a little bit about his life. So, young man, what is your name?
My name is Sergio Rubén Casanova Lopez de Mendoza.
All right. And how old are you?
I'm 80, almost 81. I'm short like 5 months.
5 months. So your birthday is?
1928.
1928. All right. Awesome. Well, Mr. Casanova, Mendoza, Lopez, everything else. What was your father's name?
Eliseo. That was his first name. Meliton Casanova.
Okay, and where were you born?
I was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Okay, and
Mexico.
Mexico, okay. And let's see. All right, what is your favorite food and why?
My favorite food. Now, is it possible to back up a little bit before we get into the food? Because something came into my mind. That is, that I like to have it that in this life history, because it is important to me, because it's funny, and because I don't know how much credibility people can find into this. But we started with the point where when I was born and where I was born and who my father was.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, since we got my father in there, becomes the person of another, the name of another person, which also should be important to one's history, at least in the Mexican or the Spanish culture, and that is who, in the event that your parents will die or you don't have it when you are very young, who is the one that normally, according to your religion, are the ones that gonna became your guardians of your second parents, and that would be your godparents for baptism. Okay, and I was baptized around 6 months after I was born, and I have not been able to confirm this. I hope in my next trip to Mexico I'm going to find out if it's true or false. And my godparents were, it's here, but give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay, as I was saying, my baptism godparents were Jose Cuervo, and Jose Cuervo, and at that time, he was just beginning to start making tequila. And not too long after that, it's hard for me to remember all this, but as I know, shortly after that, Jose Cuervo was got into a gunfight, and he was killed. So that's why always the tequila, it says, widow of Cuervo, okay? You got a Cuervo, okay? And I think that is, I'm pretty sure it's true because I heard it from my mother, I heard it from my father. There is a picture somewhere of my father, Jose Cuervo, going like this, you know. Wow. In my days, they talk of another guy, it didn't mean that they were, you know, what they were supposed to be. They were just saying they were good friends. Okay. They define good friends.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just want to interject this because it's the beginning of this. Now you can.
Well, you know, let's go with that. You know what was your childhood like when you know? Okay, what's your mom's name? We didn't mention her mom.
Oh, okay. My mother's name was Cleotilde Martinez. Mother's maiden name was. Wait, I can't remember that one. I remember most of the time. I remember all those very easily. Martino. Yeah, Martino. Okay. Now I got another one to throw in there.
All right.
Okay. Martino is a family also. I didn't put my grandparents in there yet.
That's fine. You can remember that.
I can remember.
Yeah. See, my grandfather couldn't remember his name.
Okay, I started with my father.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit in there, and I'm going to relate into this the name of my grandparents. My grandfather, in my father's side, his name was also Eliseo Casanova, and my paternal grandmother's name was Mercedes Lopez de Mendoza Casanova. And going back to the birth of my grandfather Eliseo. Oh, by the way, my father was born in 1903, and my mother was born in 1902. When they die, I don't have the date of memory, okay, so I won't even try, because I forget those things very easily. Now, my grandfather was born in a small town in the state of Zacatecas, Mexico. And his parents, which I don't have, I do have the names. The name of my great grandfather in a book. And right now I don't try to pull it out because I don't have it in my head. But this goes back to the 1830s, I think 1835, when there was three brothers. They migrated from Spain. They landed into this town in Zacatecas, Mexico. And if anybody visits Zacatecas, which I finally had the time to do it about a year ago, a year and a half ago, you can see a lot of blue-eyed people in there, and you ask them, they are Casanovas. There was a one-time saying that if you ever go to their town, you know every other person you find in there is a Casanova. Okay, and before the revolution, my grandfather migrated to the state of Jalisco, and they spent most of his life in there, in Guadalajara, and then into Mexico City. Okay, and I'll be able to begin the names of my great grandparents because I have a tree.
Yeah. Cool. What about your brothers and sisters? How many brothers and sisters?
Oh, I had two sisters. My sister Guillermina, and if I was born in 1928, she was born in 1925, and there was June the 3rd of 1925. And my kid sister was born younger than me. If I was born in 1928, she was either born 1931 or 1932. I remember I was barely walking. I can remember I was about 3 years old. And I remember my little sister crying and my mother's, ooh, and I remember that. Yeah, and I got that little song that my mother used to, ooh, and that there was also a nice part of my early childhood. I had one of the most beautiful fathers anybody could ask for. At that time, we used to live with my little sister. Oh, my little sister was born in a hacienda. The name of the hacienda was Guadalupe. Hacienda Guadalupe. Okay. It's like a big farm. Okay. And but when I remember my little sister, I was about 3 years old. I remember my mother singing to her. And then I also is deep in my memory, because at that time we used to live in a little town, and the name is Poncitlan, also in the state of Jalisco. I would say about 45 minutes drive from that town to Guadalajara. And the way my father was serving, one of the ways my father was serving a living, he had a horse. And he'll go early in the morning, and big horse to a bunch of little towns all around that Poncitlan, a little farm, small villages and stuff like that, to buy fresh eggs. Then he'll bring more to Poncitlan, and he already had somebody in stores that would buy it for him. And I remember my father having me in the back of the horse, holding it to his waistline, and he'll be singing. I remember the song he was singing. Okay? I remember the song very well. What was that song? Elena. Lengua santa de mujer, mi más bonita canción.
Mi más bonita canción. Porque eres tú mi querer.
Dueña de mi corazón.
Reina de mi corazón.
And from there on, melody keeps on going, but the words are hard to recall at this moment. Okay?
Wow. You must have been like 5, 6 years old when this was going on?
No, more like three or four.
Wow. And you can remember?
Yeah, more like 3 or 4 because she was born 3 years after I was born. Okay, and I remember the little bundle. Okay, and my mother is still having right after the kid was born. And it was in those days that, when my father used to go out buying that eggs. So anyway, if I keep all this at this rate, we're going to be here for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you want to pause now and come up with another question.
Oh, yeah, no, let's go right ahead. Okay, just real quick though. How do you feel about your sisters?
I love them. Okay? My sister, my older sister, I was very, very close to her. But after I came to the United States, I didn't frequent my little sister very much, and I got to see her very few times from 1947, that I came to the U.S. Till the time she died, which I don't remember exactly, but it's about 6, 7 years ago or something like that.
Okay. All right. Your favorite food. What is your favorite food, and why is it your favorite food?
I cannot relate my favorite food
Or a couple.
because I can eat anything, and I like everything. What I would stage of my life, what I enjoy the most, is my 3 or 4 cups good coffee. When I wake up, right after I'm done with my 3 or 4 cups, then I have 2 cups of chicken soup, practically every morning, and then I run later on. Now this is around 5:30 in the morning when I have this. Okay, at 4:30 I make my coffee. At 5 o'clock I start with my lesson that I take every day, and in that time I have drink 3 or 4 cups of coffee, and I start with my first cup of soup. And while I'm studying, which is an hour from 5 to 6, I have 2 cups of chicken soup. Yes, chicken soup. Chicken consomme. Okay. Then I still enjoy soft-boiled eggs. Yesterday morning, you got the date, what day is today, you know. Yesterday morning, after I had my coffee, my chicken soup, I had 3 soft-boiled eggs with a little hot sauce in there and lemon juice and a little salt. And that was my breakfast. Yeah. Then I don't remember what I had at lunch yesterday. I had a sandwich. Well, yeah, right now I enjoy submarine sandwiches.
Submarine sandwiches, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I enjoy those.
Now, out of your whole life, a food that you think your great grandkids should try before they die, something that you had in your life sometime that you were like, man, this is great. I really like it.
Okay, I don't like fish. I never had. Okay, I'll eat it. It's good for me. But it doesn't mean that I like it. But we should all eat fish because that's very good for our health. Let's see, what else I was going to say? The food that my mother used to cook. Well, my father abandoned us when I was in 1930s. And my grandmother and my grandfather's side died Christmas Eve of 1936. And I was just 38 years old. Okay? And I remember when my grandmother was married, and she used to make fresh tortillas for me in the morning, and those were flour tortillas, which they weren't popular in central Mexico. At the time, we used to live in Mexico City. And I love my grandma's tortillas with fresh beans and a little butter in there. Yeah. You know, with a little other things.
There we go. Tortilla with some beans and butter.
And beans and a little butter, or a taco with nothing but just a little butter in there. Okay. Oh, I love those fresh coming out of there.
Yeah. Okay, next one would be, what is your favorite music or song and why?
I love popular music of Mexico that pre-World War II. And because I lived in Mexico until I was almost 17 years old. So what was popular in Mexico, I enjoy it. Prior to that, when I was still in Mexico City, I lived with an uncle of mine house, which was my father's oldest brother, which at that time he was also, by that time he was very well to do. And a few years on and off, I lived with my uncle in my uncle's house. My uncle Salvador is the father of my cousin Salvador. And my cousin Salvador was very, he liked very classical music very much. And he used to play it quite often. One of the songs that I remember, he had a lot of records. In one of the songs that he used to play very often, it was Raquel Bolero, and I loved it. It was when I started my passion for classical music. As I said before, there are many things that my memory is very poor as long as I can remember. The lack of memory of that, there was people's names, once they were very close to me, telephone numbers, the street numbers, the street name, all that is still today from when I was very young until now, they're very difficult. But classical music, I enjoy it still very, very much, and I have a little, not too big of a collection, but I got quite a few of Raquel's Bolero, and I still have about 3 or 4, played by different orchestras. And I think it's beautiful. I like all the great masters of music. Beethoven, music that was played very much in the 1940s, 1950s. I was already here in the U.S., and I still like the music of the time, which was the music that was played during the war. Okay, music or something? Yes, yeah.
Big band.
Big bands, big bands, yes. Okay, I love it. And I was lucky enough. I was around 17. I never learned how to dance, but I used to go to the dancing places in Chicago. Was one of them is the Aragon, and the other one was the Trianon. The Aragon was in the north side of Chicago, and the Trianon was in the south side of Chicago. Now this is something so beautiful that the people of today don't even, I don't think they ever see in the movies anymore. But you would have, first of all, to be well dressed with a coat, a jacket, shiny shoes, and a tie, or you couldn't get in. And at that time, they had these places, these dancing places, they were huge. And at the time, there was the music that was played in that era. And I think the most beautiful music I ever heard. From then, there was a jump. And to me, listening to music until this guy came out, which is from the South. It was very famous. Elvis Presley? Elvis Presley. And I saw it the first time he came to a TV and he started dancing, and he was banded from the waist down because the movements of her rear end and his front, they were obscene at that time. Okay? So I didn't like his music. And I was never, I say my wife, which at that time I was married, I used to go and turn the TV or the radio off whenever it played. I just didn't like it. And from then I didn't like rock, I didn't like the Beatles. Up till today, there's something that I just can't, especially the one that is played today, what's that called rock? Rap. Rap. I found that to me, in a way, obscene left behind some of the good things that we had inside of us, which was that being proper, having good language, not swearing. And now you can hear it again. I say, no, you can't turn a TV without seeing junk, and then I turn it off right away. I got my special things that I watch.
The next song is, the question is, what's your favorite film or television show, or what's your favorite show or film?
Around, back in the 40s, the movies of the 40s and the 50s, I think I like all of them. I like Humphrey Bogart, anything with Humphrey Bogart, with Clark Gable, Bing Crosby, Buffalo, Marilyn Monroe. Hey, and one thing about, I got to meet for a very brief time, I met Marilyn Monroe had a show when I was in Korea. Buffalo came over and he had Marilyn Monroe. And I was lucky enough that he came over to the headquarters of the 2nd Infantry Division, and I got to shake her hand and Buffalo's, and there was really something that I'll never forget. As a matter of fact, I had a picture taken with Marilyn Monroe, and my ex tore it up because she was jealous that she had her arm around my waist. Okay. So anyway, there was a highlight. But all the movies that I already mentioned, all the movies that I like, there was in the 40s, and I still enjoy those movies. Every now and then is one on the TV. I never missed it. Okay, and right now today I enjoy. I'm looking at reruns of this famous lawyer, Terry Mason. I watch those every day. Yeah. The reruns. I like all day. I don't go to the show hardly anymore because I despise vulgar language, and it's used very much in films. There's a lot of things in there that to me are obscene, and I just don't like to patronize it. I'm not being holy. I'm not being hypocritical. It's not that I'm not the type of person that I don't want to sit down because somebody's watching me. No. When I'm all alone, I don't even watch it. I say because I didn't grow up with it. And there was, different times, different culture. And now even little kids use foul language, quite a bit. Even when I wasn't, I remember still when I was in Korea, it was foul language used every now and then, but there wasn't every other word. Okay? And maybe one SOB every now and then, and a damn, which was a bad word, damn. Even when I was in the Army, it wasn't like an everyday vocabulary. Okay? And women, you never heard of women swear. And nowadays you swear just as good as any